Well, welcome everybody to day 3 of the 3-day BioPharma Job Challenge. It's great to have you here. I want to just thank you one more time for your time and your treasures to spend it with all of us having a conversation about opportunity in biopharma. So welcome back to day 3, but you came here on this journey with us to get results. And today we're going to bring all of it together. Very important that you feel like this can be fun, this can be easy, this can be effective. You've got a process, you've got access to some new tools. Hopefully you've received a lot of insider tips, and those can continue because this community goes on beyond the 3-day challenge if you want to be a part of it. So everyone who's decided to spend their time with us over these 3 days, we'll invite you to our ongoing weekly meetings. Make the ones that you can. You can always check out the replays. But I think the better we bring this community together to shape best practices, to share big ideas, we will ultimately fulfill the mission that I know that I'm on, which is I want every great innovator to have access to an incredible opportunity. And I want every great biopharma company to be full of incredible innovators. And the only way we do that in this incredibly insular industry is to find ways to bridge gaps, to make communication easier, to have an appropriate place to share and spread great ideas. That's what we're trying to build with Medicine to Market, with content, with Jobs AI, with harnessing the power of technology, data, and AI to make it more accessible to people. And of course, the community that we hold dear. So the journey can continue if you wanted to, which is the great news. But day 3, let's get to work. Okay. In the midst of everything that goes on in seeking out these opportunities, I wanted to share something with you. It's a personal story that I feel will resonate with you. So in this high stakes industry, we are an industry that's good for humanity. Let's face it, we're looking to improve and extend patients' lives. So we have to innovate. There's growth, there's opportunity. And then sometimes there's things like acquisition, and you go from being in a position going 1,000 miles an hour to your company gets acquired, and now you're part of a new culture and a new company. It's much like the job process. You know, maybe you've been in sales operations for several years at a big pharma company. You move over to a small biotech, and it's like, okay, well, they need what I've done from that other job in this company, but what I'm hearing about how it should be done or how we think about things is completely different. In the job search process, I want you to remember that what's made you successful so far is going to be a good part of your journey moving forward in being successful. But be careful about the advice that you receive from others, because we don't want to confuse the value of some of this feedback that we can get from people. And so here's the big idea. And I can even do it sharing a slide with you, since people seem to love slides so much, as I've gotten in the feedback. So here's a big point. Don't confuse proximity for authority. Okay, and what I mean by that, many of you know my background, and over the course of the first 20-something years of my career, I worked at a total of 7 different biopharma companies along the way in leadership positions on the commercial side of the business. Well, one of those experiences was at a San Diego-based company called Amylin, and we launched the first GLP-1. Now, everybody's talking about GLP-1s. You can't watch TV without seeing commercials for all of these things. And the fun trivia here is, if you're not familiar already with the GLP-1s were essentially derived from the saliva of a Gila monster. Okay, so in the U.S. Southwest, and it doesn't eat very frequently, and that's how it came about. Well, working at Amylin, launching the first GLP-1, incredible experience that I shared with so many amazing people, some of the best people in my career I met at that company. Well, we got bought out by a big pharma. So we go from selling our products, having a level of success, and then getting bought out by essentially a combination of big pharma companies. It was BMS and AZ. But we were all very proud of the accomplishment we had. But we took those experiences, those skill sets, the things that we applied that made us successful every day, and now we've got to bring them somewhere else. But there's a lot that's familiar, but it's a different environment and it's in a different atmosphere. In fact, I even share there's a bunch of us that were so thankful to the Gila monster that after the buyout, folks made unique moves and purchases along the way. So I go from being in this San Diego, Southern California biotech pharma culture and atmosphere, which was a lot of fun. And many of us who were there would say, we probably didn't realize how much fun it was, at the time. And fast forward to Central New Jersey as a part of this big pharma situation. So in the 15 months that I was there, I had 7 different bosses. And boss, number 5 was also boss number 7. It was just crazy. But I'll never forget early in my time as a part of being the acquired, at that company, I get this new boss who shows up and he's got all of this experience at BMS. And he says to me, Frank, I watched you lead your team. I heard you talk about the product and the people and some of the elements of the culture that you and apparently some of your colleagues from Amylin feel that are so important. But let me tell you this, if you want to be successful as a leader, you need to be people and product agnostic. In other words, if you get an opportunity within the organization to change teams immediately, change products and therapeutic areas immediately, you need to be able to just leave everything behind and move forward because it's going to be about you and your career first. Be people and product agnostic. So when I say don't confuse proximity for authority, I will go on record and tell you, and this is a private group here that we're having this conversation, that was the worst advice I ever got in my career. Thank goodness I didn't take it. I've always been very close to the patient, very close to the product. I need to believe in the science. I need to believe in the process. And most importantly, I need to believe in the people. And I think that if there's anything that's made what I feel are successful things that have happened for me professionally, my goodness, it's because I've just believed in the people so much. I care about them. I want people to be successful. And that's why we do things like this. This is an investment in you, the people, the community, our group. The biopharma folks, the innovators, we're special people. We need to come together. When you're thinking about this job process, my point is that when you get feedback from someone who declines moving you forward, don't confuse the proximity. I just talked to them. I just interviewed. They just interviewed me. They're moving forward with other talent with authority. Not all feedback is worth considering. So in the midst of all of this process, and I know that these 3 days, we are giving you feedback, we are giving you tools, and we are giving you resources. You have the right to be skeptical. You have the right to question things. You have the right to have your own point of view. But I just would say to you in the journey, especially with one that we're in right now, where the market is difficult, the competition is high, and it is very difficult to go ahead and break through, but it's so rewarding when you do. Don't confuse the feedback that you may receive along the way with something you need to do to pivot completely. Because a lot of what made you successful before in what you were doing will make you successful applying to that product, to that process, to that job, to that role, to that skills moving forward. So be careful with the feedback. Just because someone's your boss doesn't mean they're giving you good feedback and you should follow it. Hopefully my example helped bring that forward. Okay, so that's a real big part of moving forward with this stuff. So as we think about the job challenge, you've had access to different tools to find opportunities that exist out there and ways to handle them and use information and tools to help move you forward. The stakes are really, really high. This industry is super important, but there are pressures on this industry that if you come to the job conversations with other organizations to show your worldliness, I encourage you, continue to study what's going on. There are pressures affecting this industry that this industry cannot control. And if you understand that, that puts you in a position to emerge on the other side of it. to be very, very successful. This industry is going through business model reform. How can you be a part of it? How do you cast a vision of what that should look like? How are you using technology in your role right now, whatever role that you're in, whether you're feeling like you're spending full time looking for a full time job, or you're in a job and you're considering other things because of the landscape? Are you tech enabled? Are you using AI in what you're doing? Are you thinking about the macroeconomic factors? Are you thinking about the other pressures that are on this industry? The more worldly you are, the better opportunities that you will find, and the more skilled you will be to take them on. And this industry, more than ever, despite those stakes and that pressure, need people who can embrace those and help them be successful. So in that, when we're going through the search, remember, you've got a process. Never use your mind to carry the weight of the details of the process. Use a system, use a tool. We shared the spreadsheet the other day to track the jobs and the different actions with that. You need to focus on you in the moment and your performance. Let documentation and your systems handle the other parts of the process. The old tactics fail because there's more candidates than ever. And these candidates are coming from inside and outside of the industry. I will tell you, if you're equipped with a good system and a good process to get you through this and handle all of these opportunities, you will find more of them. You will compete better for those, and you will be in a position of holding. Remember what we talked about? If you're in control of the yeses and the nos, that's a really, really good place to be. And that's where I want you. That's for sure. Now, we want to be aware of this tech stuff that we talked about. So while we were playing with Jobs AI, and I happen to love Jobs AI, we built it off of feedback from people with tons of experience, people who are in the job market. We talked to hiring managers. We looked at all of the different technologies that are out there. I think Jobs AI is fantastic. But this tech thing, all the tech, all the AI, whiz bang stuff, it's a lot of fun, but some of it is a little bit crazy. You've got to set a high bar to go ahead and stand out. I'm not going to show the name of this company. We have no relationship, and I'm not for or against them in any particular way. I'm just going to make you aware. So this is a screenshot of a product, and there are hundreds of these products that are out there that are using AI to take someone's resume and their job targets and uses AI to find those jobs and apply for them. I share this with you because if we have felt like over the last few years, it is a laborious process to find and apply for these jobs. This idea sounds good. Oh, wow, it could do it for me. Here's the problem. When we go back to the high stakes of all the people inside pharma and biotech who have experience, who have qualifications, who have a track record, that are looking for these new opportunities and trying to compete for them, and all of these outside individuals that may be high potential but don't have the experience, that want to compete for those jobs. And then there's all that other population of individuals who would love to have one of these six-figure biopharma jobs, equity benefits. These jobs are so desirable. Imagine if 100 of those people signed up for a product like this thing, whatever this is, where they're automatically applying for all of those jobs. That's creating all of this noise. We want signal versus noise. We want to be able to identify the best people that are out there. But these technologies, again, look, I have no relationship with this company. I just say that if they're doing really, really well, then the number of applications that we're getting is probably going to go 5x, 10x, 20x, because AI is just working 24 hours a day, applying to these jobs willy-nilly. And you know that AI and other tech will be used against it to counter it, to try to weed these people out. But it's just that crazy out there. You can't do this alone. When we talk about success as a shared journey, you need people, you need process, and you need tools to help you be successful. I encourage you to do that. And that's why you're here. Your advantage is to show up as an insider. So as much as we talk about cool job listing directories and AI and what have you, if you can show up like an insider, think of how that affects the social hierarchy. Think how that affects how you're introduced into the process. If you're really, really good at applying for jobs as a cold candidate, okay, great. But you have to warm up the organization and the people for them to really believe what you have to say. Anyone who's been through interviewer training has been trained to get people to move away from, well, I'm really talented, I'm really ambitious, and my biggest weakness is I work too hard. How do you break through that? If you show up as an insider where you're connected, you're using network, you've got introductions that are happening, people are seeing you on LinkedIn, people are hearing about you from teammates. If you show up as an insider, the path from here to that great job is going to be a lot shorter and a lot smoother. So use the tools, the process to multiply your impact and be an insider. I want you to use this smarter strategy that we talked about over the last few days. Use documentation and tools to help you do a lot of the heavy lifting so you can be high performance in the moment. And like I said before, with the feedback that you're getting from tools or from people or from coaches, mentors, from recruiters, from hiring managers, just remember, not all advice is created equal. And surround yourself with other talented people that are insiders and have a ton of experience that can help you be objective about that. Having a coach, having a mentor, having a network and a community to lean into, to know what's happening in the industry, what are other people hearing, and what about your situation is unique, and how should you weight this feedback, this market response that you're getting or not getting. You need help with that. Don't go it alone. Success is a shared journey. Always team up. So as we think about where we go from here, what I would say to you is just please consider using incredible tools to help you be more effective. Certainly, we've talked about Jobs AI quite a bit. Use up those credits. Play with this stuff. Use it to help you get more feedback on your resume. Use it to help create situations. We've shared guides with you over the last 3 days. Take a look at those guides. There's a bunch of prompts that you can use in any AI tool that are out there to help you think about things. So, for example, you found a job, you get the job description, you put it into a tool. Ask it to create an interview guide as if you are one of the hiring managers for that job. So don't look at it from your point of view. Have the AI look at it from the other person's point of view. If you happen to know a person that you might interview with, use AI to help analyze that person, their personality, what type of questions, what's their communication style, what tips and tricks might it give you to create a framework to having a conversation about your value proposition with that person. These are great ways to kind of like break through and be incredibly prepared. Have a conversation with these tools to mock interviewing. So let's say you find that cool job, you get more information about that company and what their future looks like. Give that to the AI tool and say, step by step, let's go back and forth. I want to have a 5-question interview. You ask me the questions, I'll give you the answer. And when we're done, give me feedback. Well, if you believe that practice makes perfect, you have these tools that will work for you 24/7, and you're not paying them hundreds of dollars per hour to coach and to guide you and to help you be effective. I encourage you to go ahead and do that. And if you're hesitant about that, I totally get it. But let me splash the cold water on the hesitation. You are competing with people that are using that technology. I'll say it again. You are competing with people that are using that technology. I believe in you and I believe in your potential. And I'm sure if given all the time in the world, with all of the bullets that could possibly be on your resume of all of the things that you've done, the companies, the actions, the results that you've been a part of, the different nuance and situations that occur. Think about your performance reviews. What a ripoff to be forced to put a year of experiences, trials, and tribulations into a few pages or paragraphs on an annual review, it doesn't even capture the incredible things that you've done. But when you take that times all the number of years that you've spent studying and working, if you could tell all of that story to someone in an interview process, I'm sure that you would get that job that you would want. The problem is you don't have that time, and you have to choose what bullet points, and you have to choose carefully, and you have to communicate effectively. I believe there's an opportunity to use community tools, network, and more to help you optimize for a world that requires impeccable communication, the ability to be compelling, the ability to come across very credible, and to create interest and desire in others so they want to hire you at the highest level of that salary band that they possibly could. And I believe that people who arm themselves with practice, with tools, technology, and network are the ones who are best positioned to be successful. So if you want to go it alone and you want to do it the old way, you have every right to do that. It's a free world. In the world that I live in, the world that many people live in dealing with what we're all seeing with these hundreds of thousands of candidates going for tens of thousands of jobs right now across biopharma, I really do believe it's going to be the people that have really optimized for all of these things that will be successful. And when I say optimized, I'll close that concept out by saying that doesn't mean that Jobs AI or any AI tool does the job for you. But if that technology can make you have the output of 20 people like you, you're probably going to be well positioned. And that's where things get fun, easy, and productive, and obviously more effective. Okay. All right. So if you want to move forward with Jobs AI, I will say this: we're investing in the product, and if you want to invest in yourself, by all with Jobs AI, you can at any time. The tool's here. We're going to continue to upgrade it. We've got some really cool things that are going to be added to it very, very soon. If you want to be a part of that for the 3-day BioPharma Challenge, to get some excitement around that, I want you to join the journey, give us feedback, build with us based on what's working for you. And you can buy it once and then you can use it. So every month I'm going to be paying the bill for that. Okay. Every month, Arsenal, our company, is going to be paying the bill for all the AI usage. But all of the upgrades, all the engineering, all the AI usage, all of that jazz, we will continue to pay for and invest in. But if we can get a bunch of people excited about it right now, more users, people who feel it's helpful, it's successful, it's an on-ramp to using more technology in your job, never mind your job search, then that's a good thing. So if you do that one-time fee, you don't have to pay monthly. That's fantastic. And when we conclude that lifetime offer next week, we're also going to give you the ability that if it does work for you and you say good things about it, if you get other people interested in the product, if you want, we'll even have it basically a referral program where we'll incentivize you to bring in new users who, by the way, will be paying monthly, not one time like you can if you want to. On top of that, to keep this momentum going, I'd love for us to have a bit of a community with that. We have a couple different groups that get together. One of them, we talk about the market. So if you're interested in the job challenge and what's going on with the market, who's hiring, where's their stress, where's their opportunity, let's dig deep into some of the companies that have some drug approval or some pipeline things happening. We do have a weekly discussion on that, and you don't have to do anything. I'll invite you. You want to join? Fantastic. You can be a part of that insider group without any dues through the end of this year if you want to be a part of it. I welcome you to it. I appreciate you being a part of this. I hope that you've gotten a lot of value. I'd love to go ahead and continue that. If you want the community, but then you also want a little bit of one-on-one attention, we do have the opportunity to work one-on-one if you want. So go through Jobs AI. You'll see on the product page, there is a one-on-one piece. We can put together a plan, give you resources, a data dashboard. We can talk about the network. Who do we know? How might we have introductions? Here's a list of people that if I were you, I would be following and or connecting on LinkedIn. As one of my family members says about networking, dig your well before you're thirsty. So like, let's build on that network. We can give you a list of people who are influencers in your specific niche and space in biopharma who you might want to connect with or you might want to follow. We'll provide that. So we can work together if you want to, if you want that. So you can do it yourself. You can do it with tools like medicine2market.com or jobsai.medicine2market.com. You can do it with a community if you want to be a part of the insider group. You can get one-on-one help if that's something that you really, really want. But what I want for you, and is a little sneaky peek about the future, is I want you to look. If you're a great innovator, I want great opportunities in your hands for you to choose. And for this industry and the bigger mission, I want great companies to be full of innovators like you. That is exactly what I want. I want that to happen. That's why we're doing things like this. So once you're in that role, how do we unleash your potential? And rather than waiting for your company to figure out how do they help you leverage technology to turn the productivity of 1 into the productivity of 20, which is where the industry is going with using technology for us to be more effective, including the whole AI thing that we're talking about, brings us to Project Spyglass. So this is something that we're working on right now. So Project Spyglass, I'll give you a preview. And if you want to test it, we'll send you an opportunity to be a part of the testing group as well. But imagine a tool, a suite of tools that's available to you. So where you saw Jobs AI, okay, it can help you find jobs. It can help you optimize your resume. It can help you investigate and do intelligence work on the companies and the interviewers and the people and the stakeholders and the KOLs. It can help you mock interview to go for it. It can help you make decisions, make content, all of that sort of stuff. You got a suite of tools with that. Well, Project Spyglass, which is really cool. Imagine a tool that if part of your job exposes you to messages or programs or vendors that might require a medical legal review look. Well, there's lots of public information, rules, regulations that a medical legal regulatory review team would look at with that material and weigh in. It's not a substitute for your internal MLR team, but imagine running that content through a tool that had essentially expertise in all of these particular areas, all the departments that you'd have to deal with in the medical legal review process to help you better prepare for those conversations, to look at the pros and the cons with what you have to get you prepared to move it through that process. In pharma and biotech, if you're not involved with that, I will just tell you, it's hundreds of hours to get some of these projects, some of these capabilities that vendors bring to us through that. If you could have something that sped things up, helped bring expertise into it so you have clarity. I'm a commercial person. I'm not a legal reviewer in pharma, but if I could access the potential of that sort of individual's expertise, job description to review my things before I actually took up that human's valuable time, that could be incredibly powerful. So that's one of the functionalities. Competitor tracking. This can watch companies, watch products, watch pipeline, give you intel on that. What does the market look like in the future? So if you're working on a GLP-1 today that might not make the market until 2030, what will the market look like in 2030? It accesses information and data from databases that we have that are charged, tens of thousands of dollars per year to access to. It'll feed off that data to give you that information. Pipeline and company intelligence, boardroom and brand planning. It'll help you. It'll make slides for you and overall give you a productivity boost, as well as help you with leadership communications. So imagine here we are in September. guess what? We've got Q4 coming up. If you're in a leadership position, you're probably got a meeting on the books with your team to talk about how to end the year successfully and what the Q4 objectives are for your team and department. As a leader, if I said, okay, I need to make sure that our team focuses on these three things. Here are 5 new policies that we've got to worry about. And this is what's going on with 10 key accounts. How do I think about communicating to my team every 2 weeks about these things? It'll help you structure that communication, the cadence. It'll write the emails for you and help you be incredibly productive. One thinking session, even if you talk to the tool for 2 minutes, and it'll help you produce all of those outputs. This thing will absolutely transform people. And this is completely purpose-built after interviewing hundreds of people in biotech and pharma, people that I admire greatly. I'm really excited about this product. So if you want to take a look at that before we release it, we can go ahead and do that. So on that note, as we wrap up the 3-day BioPharma Challenge, you have access to find these opportunities. You understand the stakes of what's happening in this $3 trillion industry with 412,000 employees in the US, which has decreased quite a bit year over year, where we have 31% more layoffs going on in 2025 than 2024. We have regulatory, financial, and customer pressures that are very real on this industry, which is causing biopharma to have to revisit its business model. And it is going to be looking to change what it does and how it does in the years moving forward. And companies are, as you know, looking for people who will be a part of that transformation. In transforming the organizations and competing for these roles, you've got to do something to be effective in standing out. And hopefully that you've seen that you can use technology to help you do that. And you need to customize your communications at every step. If you have a process to help you manage the detail, this whole thing will be fun, easy, and productive. And you want an effective outcome, that is for sure. And I would just say in closing, just remember that success is a shared journey. We can do this together as a community, contribute to others, mentor somebody else, give them access to the resources that you have. Share Jobs AI with them. They can go ahead and try it out. ShareJobs.medicinemarket.com so they can see the curated listings that we have. We have there. Stay on top of what's going on, and going back to all of it. Just remember, network. You need to be a part of a community of really ambitious innovators like yourself to have opportunities come your way. Because in an ideal world, you're happy, you're fulfilled, you're doing incredible things to move the industry forward. And because of that, people see it and they offer you opportunities that are just irresistible and require you to pause and go ahead and take a look at. I wish you a career and a lifetime full of those opportunities. I want to thank you for being a part of the 3-day BioPharma Challenge. I appreciate all of the connection and the feedback that we have received, and more goodies are coming your way very, very soon. So watch out for the next invitation for the next big thing. This has been a lot of fun. I wish you guys all the best. I hope that you had a good enough time that maybe you'll tell somebody about what we're up to. Okay. So if we don't root for each other, who will? On that note, I wish you the best. I can't wait to see you soon.